Welcome to our second video in the series where we show you how to make your own Discord bot from scratch. In this video I'll be covering how to get your bot online with a custom status. Also, I suggest you watch our first video in the series where we go through some basic JavaScript. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. The first thing I want you to do is to open your search engine and type in the URL discord.com/developers/applications. Then you should see a page looking something like this. You might not have these applications, or you probably won't, but we're gonna create our application right now. Click New Application in the top right corner. In the field here, we are going to put in the name of the application. Mine is just gonna be called Discord.js. You can call yours whatever you want. Hit Create. You should see a page looking something like this. Now head over to the Bot tab. Click Add a Bot in the right corner, and then yes to it. Here you should see a page looking something like this. Here we can change the avatar of the bot, and here you can change the username. Now here we can also see the token of the bot. This is the token we use to log into the bot, so make sure you don't share this with anyone, because then they'll be able to log into your bot. Now let's jump into our code real quick. In here we are going to install some dependencies and also start with some coding. So open your terminal. Let me clear this. Now in the terminal, I first want you to path into the folder you have. You can create one if you don't have one. Now call that folder whatever you want. You can also open your terminal by hitting terminal and new terminal in Visual Studio Code, but I'm gonna use my custom one. Now in the terminal, you're gonna be typing in npm init for initialize and then -y. This is going to be basically initializing npm, which is short for Node Package Manager. And now we can use npm to install Discord.js, which is something we use in JavaScript to connect to the Discord API more easier. So type in npm I for install and then discord.js. We now should see a loading bar. And we should see we have three new files. The package.json, which is a file with some basic information about the application. Package.lock.json, which has all the dependencies we have in the project, and then node modules, which has some files. We shouldn't really care about any of this, as it's not really important and we aren't going to change anything. Just remember that you shouldn't delete this. Now let's add in 2 or 3 files actually. One that we are going to call config.json. One that we're gonna call for index.js, and then the last one that's gonna be .git ignore. In the .git ignore, you're gonna put in config.json. This is gonna be making it so if you have this on GitHub, the git ignore or the GitHub itself is gonna be just ignoring the config.json. Because in the config.json we are going to put in our token and some more information we don't want to share with others. So in here you want to open with some curly braces, and we're going to put in 2 objects. The first one we're going to call for a token, and that's going to have a value of a string. Just leave that empty for now. Now a new line, we're going to call for a prefix. That's going to also have a value of a string. Don't put a comma here. Now in the prefix, you're going to be inputting the prefix of the bot, which is a string that's going to go in front of all your commands. So just put in a exclamation mark or whatever you want, but my bot is going to have a prefix of an exclamation mark. Now in the token, we're going to be putting in our bot token. So open your Discord and copy your bot token. In here you can paste your bot token now. Now we can head over to our index.js and start with some coding. So the first thing we want is to require the config.json, so const. And now we can put in some curly braces to basically skip the config dot, but just use the token. So token and comma prefix is equal to require dot slash config.json. Now this is basically allowing us to skip from using config dot, or let me see, config.token, and we can just use token. Now let's require discord.js. So const discord is equal to require discord.js. Remember, don't have a dot slash here. Dot slash is just for getting into files in our directory. A semicolon there. Now let's make a new client. So const client with a lowercase c is equal to a new discord with a uppercase d dot client with a uppercase c, then some brackets and a semicolon. Now let's log into our bot. So go some lines down and then client dot login. That is a method, so put in some brackets right there, and in here we can put in our token. Now let's put in a semicolon there. Now let's also console log when the bot is online. So client.on, which is going to be a method, so put some brackets. And we also want to check for the ready event. So when the bot is ready, we want to call a callback function, so our function right there. Now let's open this with some brackets, some curly brackets. Now you could just use it like this, but if we have more than one line of code in here, we want the curly braces to make it easier. So in here we're gonna put a console.log, and then bot is online. You can put whatever you want in here, but I'm gonna be putting in bot is online. Put a semicolon there. Now let's go one line down and set the status of the bot. So to do that, we're gonna call the client. Now we're gonna be calling the user method of the user of the client. Then we're gonna be calling the set activity method of the user. Then we're gonna be putting a string here, keep that empty for now. Now some curly braces, and in here we want to put in a parameter that's type, and the type is equal to one of these. Now I'm gonna be calling mine putting watching for now, and in here it's gonna be whatever after watching. So for now it's gonna be YouTube for me. That's gonna say watching YouTube on the bot. Now put a semicolon there, and this should basically be it. So let's try to run the code real quick. So to do that, we open your CMD or the terminal in the Visual Studio Code. Type in node space dot or node space index.js. Now let's run it. You should see bot is online. If we go into our Discord, oh, I see something we need to do. We need to add our bot to the Discord server. So open your search engine again, go into the OAuth 2, click bot. If you want to use / commands later on, you should choose application.commands. Now choose administrator or whatever permissions you want your bot to have. Copy that, open a new tab and paste it in. Here we should see a page looking something like this. Choose the server you want to add the bot to. I'm going to be choosing tutorials, and then hit continue, and then authorize, and then I'm not a robot. Now if we go into our Discord, you should see our bot is online and it says watching YouTube. Great, so our bot is now online. You can add more code in here if you want to. I'm gonna be showing you one more thing, so let's just comment this out now, and let's actually console log the client. So, or not console.client, but console.log, and then we are gonna console log the client, so I can just show you something. So now if we Control C in the terminal to exit out of the program, and then node space dot again, we should see a big JSON file. In here we should see some rather large information. I can expand this. Now we see a lot of information here, and you shouldn't really care about what's in here, but it's a great thing to look at. So for example, here in the user section, we see the ID here, we see the username, we see that it's a bot, we see discriminator, it doesn't have an avatar for now, and last message ID is of course null because the bot hasn't sent any messages, and the timestamp for when the bot got ready. So it's also great to console log some JSON and just look at the JSON and understand what it does. So yeah, let's just go into our code again. Let's remove this and let's uncomment that. And yeah, that was it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have any problems, just go into our Discord and we'll be happy to help you. If you also want, you can go into the GitHub description and just look at the code there. And without further ado, I hope you have a great day, so I'll see you soon.